Today, I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some great signs that we are seeing in the sports card market right now and why I believe we could have truly seen the bottom and prices could be starting to rebound from here. So without further ado, we're going to hop right into this video. So as you guys can see, we are on the market trends of the alt marketplace. And as you guys can see right here, we have 90-day data for the last 90 days, which is 3 months. And then we have data for the last 30 days. And as you guys can see right here, out of the 6 categories, the 6 sports, of course, you got Pokemon, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, and soccer. So 5 out of 6 of the categories are up in the last 30 days. And in fact, they started off, in December going down. We saw basketball especially in the beginning of this. In the beginning of December was on a big downward trend, and from there we've seen basketball recover quite strongly to even make the 30-day data positive. So we're seeing basketball really start to pick back up. Football is of course up nearly 3%. Hockey has been the greatest performing category of the last 30 days, up 4.15%, and almost breaking even for the last 3 months. And then we see TCG and football all perform very well. So we're going to be kind of breaking down, what this could mean for the sports card market, because we are seeing players who are playing well go up even more. The first guy that comes to mind, of course, is going to be Trevor Lawrence. He's been one player who's been incredibly hot recently, and his cards, a lot of them have almost doubled in price, which is definitely a great sign to see, because if you're picking the right players, there's still a lot of money to be made, even in a down market. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of Trevor Lawrence's, most sold cards, some cards that we can track a little bit better than others. These cards right here sell multiple times a day, and so it's a lot easier to track data. But as you guys can see for Trevor Lawrence, his Donruss PSA 10, I believe, was as low as around 30 to 40 bucks, and it's currently up to around 75 to 80. We're going to have to scroll a little bit, but this card right here, is one of, the easier cards to track for Trevor Lawrence. And as you guys can see right here, as you guys know, it was a $35 to $40 card literally less than a month ago. There were sales at $35, and it's currently bounced all the way up to as much as $100, but around $75 right now. So this card right here is doubled in the last couple of months, or in the last literally less than a month. But there's definitely a lot of opportunity right now, and I think we are starting to see prices more so level out, which is a great sign, because before stuff starts to recover, it usually levels out. And as you guys can see right here, we're starting to see a 30-day trend close to 0%, a little bit higher for most categories, which is very good. So I would definitely say, this is a very positive sign for the market. In terms of where I see the most opportunity, I will stick by it. I still see the most opportunity in basketball. I think there's the most upside to be had in basketball cards at the moment. I think they were the hottest during, the pandemic, and they kind of dipped the hardest because they had gone up the most. They went down the most, and a lot of basketball cards are still setting at 80 to 90%, losses compared to peak. So I still think, we're going to see a good amount of upside in basketball. I do see a big surge coming for the Brooklyn Nets. They have had a pretty tragic past in the past 2 years. Past 2 seasons have been an absolute mess and so much uncertainty. But now that they're finally pulling things together, I think there's a lot of upside in Kyrie and Kevin Durant's cards, and that is simply because they had gone down so much. I remember when this card right here was a $12,000 to $13,000 card. It's currently at $990, but it had gone down to around $800 at one point. So this card's currently bouncing back up. It was an $800 card, and it's currently consistently selling for around $1,000. So we're seeing roughly 20% increases on some of those cards. But there's overall a big bounce up in cards. We're seeing Kyrie Irving's cards also start to pick back up a little bit. And I think these had gone down so much to the point where we could see prices accelerate a little bit faster than usual. So Kyrie's cards, I believe, were sitting at around $100 for a Prism PSA 10 at one point. I was offered some at sports card shows for $100 when they were comping around 130 to 140. And they're currently, the last sale is all the way up to 225. One had even sold for 300. So these cards have literally doubled in a very short span. And I think they're going to continue to do solid numbers. And so what leads to great opportunity when cards are going up, when a player's cards are going up, you can go after their more rare cards that haven't sold in a while, and you can try to get them at the price of the last comp. And if you can get the price of, last month comp, you can definitely see a good increase in price. So as we can see right here, there's certain cards that haven't sold in a while. For example, if you're going after a Kyrie Irving, Prism Silver autograph, and you see the last did $12.50, Kyrie's market is likely up since, the end of November, beginning of December. So if you can get this around that $12.50 mark, I think it's a good purchase right now. I'm personally going after some Brooklyn Nets cards. I think, the hype could start to build back up before the playoffs come around. And I do think the market's overall in a place where I see a little bit less downside just because of how much prices had gone down. I think there's more upside now than there has been in a long time. And I feel more comfortable buying when prices are lower because I think there's less upside, or less downside, sorry. But we see the overall trends. Basketball is really starting to level out. It had been going down for, 2 months or so. And then in this last month, it has leveled out and even gone up a little bit, which is a great sign. So it just really depends. There's going to, of course, be cards that continue to go down. There's going to be cards, however, that go up. So it's going to be, just a matter of figuring out, who you can invest in and which players you believe in, and then which cards to buy of that player. That's the whole thing. So I do see a lot more opportunity now. So if you do believe in a player, I think it's a good time to start investing, just because prices are sitting very, very low. So as you guys know, the players I'm going after, the Brooklyn Nets, I'm going after Donovan Mitchell cards. I think he's going to be in the spotlight, and the Cavs are going to be in the spotlight a little bit. And then I'm just going after cards that I think have fallen so hard that I think they're bound to bounce back. And there's definitely a handful of those that are on my mind. There's just certain cards that are incredibly rare, incredibly iconic for the long term, and they're just sitting at very tempting prices right now. Because if the market continues to start to rebound, and the economy starts to rebound, which I believe it will at some point when inflation kind of comes down a little bit and we start to see interest rates go down, I think we're going to start to see an influx in buying again. And so that's why I'm personally, starting to invest now. Could we still see, prices go down more? Yes, we could. But you're never going to time the bottom, and I don't want to miss an opportunity, to buy in at incredibly steep discounts, because I think I could get it a little bit cheaper. I think the upside in the long term is going to be huge, if you can get in. So I definitely think, based on this data, based on where we are, we could have seen the bottom. Card prices could continue to go down again. I'm not one to be sure and give you guys a firm answer, because no one can, to be honest. But that's personally my opinion, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And hopefully we can start a little conversation down below in the comments, and go back and forth, give our points, and learn from each other. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Other than that, I'm out. Peace.